Posted by you/no nectarine 299. I, 23F, am getting married in January and just found out my fiancé, Mark, 25M, invited his old situationship to our wedding without consulting me. For context, Mark and I met on a dating app 2 years ago after he broke up a relationship. To be honest, it's quite confusing what he and Tracy, 22F, had. They met through a mutual friend and started to develop feelings for each other. Mark told me they never dated or slept together, but it was more than friendship. To this day, he keeps her love letters, gifts, and talks about her. Tracy and he tried to stay in contact after the breakup, remaining friends, but she ghosted him after finding out we started dating. From what I've seen on her social media, she's in a relationship, so I'm not worried about her trying to get with my fiancé again. They haven't been in contact for 2 years, but he still has her number and email. I found out about him inviting her after I checked our guest list again and saw her name. I know Tracy is not a threat to our relationship, but Mark inviting her behind my back makes me feel bad about our whole wedding. He told me he doesn't feel anything for her, yet he made sure to send her an invitation. This is probably me being insecure, but my fear of him not getting over her is slowly creeping into my heart. I don't want to lose him. Update 2 days later. After reading the comments and talking with some friends, my heart finally understood that Mark never really got over Tracy. In the beginning, I was in denial, but I went out with Tom, 24M, his best friend of several years, to understand what really happened between them. From what he told me, Tracy and Mark met through mutual friends. She had just started university and was 17 at the time, while Mark was almost graduating. They stayed friends for 2 years and feelings started to blossom. Mark was already working while she was still in college, and he only wanted to formally date her after her graduation. So, it was never official, even though they exchanged love letters, gifts, and spent almost every holiday together. Tom told me that everyone in their old friend group thought they would marry since they were so sweet together. So, their breakup was really unexpected. Tracy was the one who broke up with Mark due to their religious values not aligning, as she wanted to save herself until marriage. In the end, they decided it was better to go their separate ways and maybe try again after a few years. But after Mark and I started dating, Tracy realized that it was pointless to wait for him and began seeing other people too. She blocked him on everything except email to make a fresh start. In the end, I finally realized that Mark is just hopeful Tracy will come back to him because of their talks about trying again after some time. It honestly hurts so much, as I loved him deeply. I still haven't confronted him since I'm still shaken up, but I don't know if this marriage will happen. I'll update once I calm down and confront him. Second update 6 days later. It's been a while since the last update, and I'm here to announce that the wedding has been called off. My parents are the ones canceling everything for me. It's like I've returned to my childhood when mom and dad had to solve my problems. I confronted Mark after talking with Tom and made him aware of everything I've been dealing with. His initial reaction was dismissive, almost as if he was trying to escape from the situation. In the end, Mark said he'd never loved anyone like he loved Tracy because it was pure and innocent. She reminded him that not everything is about carnal desire, and in the darkest moments of his life, Tracy was like a ray of sunlight. Hearing the man you love admit how much he loved another woman is incredibly hurtful. During the conversation, I started to cry, bawling my eyes out. Mark had the audacity to say he loves me, but it's a different kind of love. I asked why he invited her to our wedding, and he was speechless. Why did he have to throw away our future for something in the past? This hurt so much. Mark told me he knew Tracy hadn't blocked him on email, since he was the one who helped her get her first job, and a lot of professional stuff was also involved. That's how he was able to send her our wedding invitation, but he meant no harm. When I asked what he meant by this, Mark just said he wanted her to see us together and realize what she lost because he was hurt that Tracy was pregnant and not married. The moment Mark mentioned Tracy's pregnancy, a red alarm started going off in my head. How did you know about her pregnancy? You said she blocked you everywhere. I could see panic in his eyes as he started to stutter. In the end, I made him give me his phone, and I found more than 5 accounts he used to stalk Tracy. My stomach felt sick, and the urge to vomit was overwhelming. Ultimately, I decided to call off the engagement because he was a creep. Mark threw himself on the floor, asking for forgiveness, saying he loves me, just in a different way compared to Tracy, and that he was just hurt that she gave herself to another man while he had begged her countless times for bedroom intimacy. This made me feel even more disgusted with him because he felt entitled to her and her body. I left without even taking a bag with me. Everything is just too much. I can't believe I spent 2 years loving a stalker, a man-child. Oh, I also told Tracy everything and shared his accounts with her. I don't know if she saw my messages, but I hope she does. The jealousy I once felt for her transformed into pity, as no woman should go through what Mark has done. Mark wants to meet up with me and doesn't want to break up, but I'm just so tired. Third update 1 day later. I think this is my last update, as I've already met up with Tracy and talked about what happened. She and I met at a cafe, and at first, I was really nervous because I didn't know how she would react. Her only reply to my message was, "Hi, let's talk over a cup of coffee," smile emoji. While waiting for her, I could feel my back sweating, and overall, I felt a lot of emotions. When Tracy arrived, I finally understood why Mark was so obsessed with her. She is definitely one of the most beautiful women I've seen. She looks pretty in pictures, but in person, she looks even better. Tracy greeted me and asked if I'd be willing to go to her house to talk, since being outside for too long makes her really tired. We ordered some coffee to go, and it was super awkward. Now, let's talk about what she told me. First of all, she apologized for being the reason why I'm now single, though I assured her it's not her fault. Tracy said she received the invitation but wasn't interested in attending our wedding because she was already in a happy relationship and felt it was pointless to see someone from her past. Given the story Tom and Mark told me, I got curious and asked about them staying friends, since it sounded like she wanted to keep in touch with him after the breakup. This was the complete opposite of her behavior. Tracy seemed extremely uncomfortable with this question but still explained why she had said that. At first, she was really in love with Mark because he was her first love. She described him as a protector, someone trustworthy, handsome, and kind, who always showered her with gifts and trips. Everything was fine and sweet, but over time, Mark started begging her for bedroom intimacy so much that she began pretending to be sick just to avoid him. She just didn't want to sleep with him and had a sort of blockage, like a sixth sense telling her not to go through with it. She grew tired of the whole situation and used her parents' strong religious beliefs as an excuse for why bedroom intimacy was off limits. This led to a fight, which Mark never mentioned to me, and ultimately to their breakup. 2 weeks later, they started talking again because she felt indebted to him. He had helped her get a job at a prestigious company and spent a lot of money on her with trips, food, and presents. One of these gifts was a Rolex for her 18th birthday, which made me mad, as he never spent so much money on me. When Tracy found out that Mark and I were seeing each other, she felt relieved and finally had a proper reason to block him everywhere, as he was still occasionally hinting at them sleeping together. In the end, I told her that throughout my relationship with Mark, he would sometimes talk about her. At first, it was kind of weird, but I brushed it off, assuming she was just part of his past. Oh, I also brought up Mark's numerous accounts. Initially, she didn't believe me, but I showed her the accounts I knew of, which was creepy since they all had female names, followers, and pictures, and they all looked real. Since her account was public, I asked Tracy to make it private. She made a new account with her Korean name and deactivated the old one. We ended up having fun and becoming friends. She is a really sweet person, and I saw how her boyfriend treated her like a queen. I'm happy she found love and got rid of Mark.